Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The persons, are committees or departments, etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. An ordered manner. Orderliness by virtue of being methodical and well organized. The act of forming or establishing something. The activity or result of distributing or disposing persons or things properly or methodically. A group of people who work together. The act of organizing a business or an activity related to a business. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. The persons, are committees or departments, etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. He claims that the present administration is corrupt. The act of meting out justice according to the law. The act of governing, exercising authority. The tenure of a president. Things were quiet during the Eisenhower administration. A method of tending to or managing the affairs of some group of people, especially the group's business affairs. The act of administering medication. The persons, are committees or departments, etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. A wind instrument that consists of a brass tube, usually of variable length, that is blown by means of a cup-shaped or funnel-shaped mouthpiece. A memorial made of brass. Impudent aggressiveness. The section of a band or orchestra that plays brass instruments. An alloy of copper and zinc. An ornament or utensil made of brass. The persons, are committees or departments, etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. He quickly became recognized as a member of the establishment. An organization founded and united for a specific purpose. The cognitive process of establishing a valid proof. Ecology. The process by which a plant or animal becomes established in a new habitat. The act of forming or establishing something. It was the establishment of his reputation. Any large organization. A public or private structure, business or governmental or educational, including buildings and equipment for business or residence. The persons, are committees or departments, etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. The governance of an association is responsible to its members. The act of governing, exercising authority. The persons, are committees or departments, etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. The persons, are committees or departments, etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. An ordered manner. Orderliness by virtue of being methodical and well organized. His compulsive organization was not an endearing quality. The act of forming or establishing something. He still remembers the organization of the club. The activity or result of distributing or disposing persons or things properly or methodically. His organization of the workforce was very efficient. A group of people who work together. The act of organizing a business or an activity related to a business. He was brought in to supervise the organization of a new department. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. The facts were familiar, but it was in the organization of them that he was original. An ordered manner. Orderliness by virtue of being methodical and well organized. We can't do it unless we establish some system around here. A group of independent but interrelated elements comprising a unified whole. A vast system of production and distribution and consumption keep the country going. A complex of methods or rules governing behavior. They have to operate under a system they oppose. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. He tried to understand their system of classification. A group of physiologically or anatomically related organs or parts. The body has a system of organs for digestion. A procedure or process for obtaining an objective. They had to devise a system that did not depend on cooperation. Instrumentality that combines interrelated interacting artifacts designed to work as a coherent entity. He bought a new stereo system. Physical chemistry, a sample of matter in which substances in different phases are in equilibrium. In a static system, oil cannot be replaced by water on a surface. The living body considered as made up of interdependent components forming a unified whole. Exercise helped him get the alcohol out of his system. Law determining the fundamental political principles of a government. The act of forming or establishing something. The constitution of a PTA group last year. The way in which someone or something is composed. The Constitution written at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787 and subsequently ratified by the original 13 states. A United States 44-gun frigate that was one of the first 3 naval ships built by the United States. It won brilliant victories over British frigates during the War of 1812 and is without doubt the most famous ship in the history of the United States Navy. It has been rebuilt and is anchored in the Charlestown Navy Yard in Boston. Geology, the geological features of the Earth. The act of forming or establishing something. The act of fabricating something in a particular shape. An arrangement of people or things acting as a unit. A defensive formation. A particular spatial arrangement. Creation by mental activity. The formation of sentences. Natural process that causes something to form. The formation of gas in the intestine. The act of arranging and adapting a piece of music. The spatial property of the way in which something is placed. The arrangement of the furniture. The thing arranged or agreed to. They made arrangements to meet in Chicago. A piece of music that has been adapted for performance by a particular set of voices or instruments. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. He changed the arrangement of the topics. An orderly grouping, of things or persons, considered as a unit, the result of arranging. A flower arrangement. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. Wool has more body than rayon. A resonating chamber in a musical instrument, as the body of a violin. Invest with or as with a body. Give body to. The entire physical structure of an organism, an animal, plant, or human being. He felt as if his whole body were on fire. The body excluding the head and neck and limbs. A natural object consisting of a dead animal or person. They found the body in the lake. A collection of particulars considered as a system. A body of law. A group of persons associated by some common tie or occupation and regarded as an entity. The whole body filed out of the auditorium. An individual three-dimensional object that has mass and that is distinguishable from other objects. Heavenly body. The central message of a communication. The body of the message was short. The external structure of a vehicle. The body of the car was badly rusted. The main mass of a thing. The quality of appreciating method and system. The quality of appreciating method and system. A condition of regular or proper arrangement. Get off the ground. Who started this company? Bulge outward. The time at which something is supposed to begin. They got an early start. Begin work or acting in a certain capacity, office or job. Start a new job. Get going or set in motion. We simply could not start the engine. A line indicating the location of the start of a race or a game. Have a beginning, in a temporal, spatial, or evaluative sense. Prices for these homes start at $250,000. A signal to begin, as in a race. The starting signal was a green light. Bring into being. A turn to be a starter, in a game at the beginning. He got his start because one of the regular pitchers was in the hospital. Set in motion, cause to start. The U.S. started a war in the Middle East. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Who will start? Begin an event that is implied and limited by the nature or inherent function of the direct object. She started the soup while it was still hot. A sudden involuntary movement. He awoke with a start. Begin or set in motion. I start at 8 in the morning. Have a beginning characterized in some specified way. Leave. Move or jump suddenly, as if in surprise or alarm. She startled when I walked into the room. The advantage gained by beginning early, as in a race. With an hour's start he will be hard to catch. The act of starting something. Play in the starting lineup. The beginning of anything. It was off to a good start. Serving to begin. The beginning canto of the poem. The time at which something is supposed to begin. The place where something begins, where it springs into being. The Italian beginning of the Renaissance. The act of starting something. He was responsible for the beginning of negotiations. The event consisting of the start of something. The beginning of the war. The first part or section of something. It was a dark and stormy night, is a hackneyed beginning for a story. The time at which something is supposed to begin. An academic exercise in which diplomas are conferred. The act of starting something. An organic process that takes place in the body. Respiratory activity. The state of being active. His sphere of activity. The trait of being active, moving or acting rapidly and energetically. The level of activity declines with age. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. Volcanic activity. Any specific behavior. They avoided all recreational activity. Chemistry, the capacity of a substance to take part in a chemical reaction. Catalytic activity. People sharing some social relation. A method of tending to or managing the affairs of some group of people, especially the group's business affairs. A kitchen appliance for disposing of garbage. The act or means of getting rid of something. The power to use something or someone. Used all the resources at his disposal. The people in a society considered as a system organized by a characteristic pattern of relationships. Sociologists have studied the changing structure of the family. A particular complex anatomical part of a living thing and its construction and arrangement. He has good bone structure. A thing constructed, a complex entity constructed of many parts. The structure consisted of a series of arches. Give a structure to. I need to structure my days. The complex composition of knowledge as elements and their combinations. His lectures have no structure. The manner of construction of something and the arrangement of its parts. Artists must study the structure of the human body. Persons who administer justice. The system of law courts that administer justice and constitute the judicial branch of government. The act of managing something. He was given overall management of the program. Those in charge of running a business. The most important persons in a governing body. Roman Catholic Church, the central administration governing the Roman Catholic Church. Persons who administer justice. A level shelf of land interrupting a declivity, with steep slopes above and below. A strong worktable for a carpenter or mechanic. A long seat for more than one person. Exhibit on a bench. Bench the poodles at the dog show. Law, the seat for judges in a courtroom. Take out of a game, of players. The magistrate or judges sitting in court in judicial capacity to compose the court collectively. The reserve players on a team. Our team has a strong bench. People elected or appointed to administer a government. Someone who manages a government agency or department. A person responsible for the administration of a business. Persons who administer the law. Having the function of carrying out plans or orders, etc. The executive branch. People elected or appointed to administer a government. The elected governing body of a county. The act of colonizing, the establishment of colonies. The British colonization of America.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.